So this is a game I vowed not to get on release after the bug fest of Unity, but I did anyway. And it's not a bad game. I mean, I've come across a couple of bugs, none of them game breaking, and one was actually quite entertaining, so it is a vast improvement on Unity in that respect. So, this game is set in London. I happen to live in London, so at least with the main landmarks I can see that they have created a really good likeness. Visually, the game is impressive. There's a good contrast between the boroughs, with each one having a unique look. Whitechapel is run down, Lambeth is more industrial with factories and asylums, and Westminster is obviously an explosion of grandeur. There's some really good attention to detail too. The NPCs don't just stand around, but actually appear to be getting on with their daily lives, hanging out, washing, going to the shop. That was one of the few aspects which I actually liked in Unity, so I am glad that that was carried over. The map is also quite expansive, and if you get tired of walking from place to place, you can also steal carriages, which is actually quite good fun, careening down the road, knocking over lampposts, post boxes, pedestrians. Syndicate gives us not just one new assassin, but two, the Fry twins. They're not as charismatic as Ezio was, but they are entertaining and they do have character. The twins have very different personalities. Evie is more of a thinker and Jacob is very much a doer. Evie will plan first and jump later, whereas Jacob will plunge in hidden blade first, and that's reflected in their playstyles, as Evie is better at stealth and infiltration and Jacob is better at combat. You can swap freely between the two when free roaming or doing side quests, but they do each have their own unique main quests to complete. The twins share a single experience stat, so experience gained by one is also gained by the other, but they do have their own skill points and abilities. So if you like, you can make Jacob better at stealth and toughen Evie up a little in combat, or you can just stick to each character's preferred tree. I really like the idea of the twin assassins, and I think the game handles the mechanic pretty well. And it's good for adding variety to your playstyle, as you're no longer locked to a single build. There's a whole host of new historical personages to rub shoulders with. Alexander Graham Bell takes over from Leonardo da Vinci, and you also get to run side quests for Charles Dickens and Charles Darwin. One of the areas where the game falls flat for me is in the storyline. I still don't feel it's strong enough to hold the game together. It's slow and very linear at the beginning, and this isn't helped by the fact you're forced to do some side quests as main quests, which nearly led to me dropping the game entirely. Second is that, on the whole, it is just another Assassin's Creed game. There's no innovation, no significant advancement, just a few tweaks like replacing your sword with a cane and horses with carriages. The majority of the game boils down to doing pretty much the same thing as in the last 5 or 6 games. There comes a point where a franchise has to innovate to avoid stagnation. Assassin's Creed reached that point back in AC3, and we're still getting clones. I truly think the Assassin's Creed franchise still has potential, but this game just isn't it. All the effort seems to have gone on the visuals, with very little on the gameplay, plot, or general innovation. The result is a game that's really pretty to look at, has a great soundtrack, but is just not that engaging to play. And I think that's a real shame, and it's a real lost opportunity. I can only hope that with the next game, Ubisoft takes note of what other major game franchises are doing, such as The Witcher and Metal Gear Solid. Otherwise, future Assassin's Creed games will just get lost in the dust trail.